Hi, this is AmeriCorps for you. Today we'll be doing a project on coding. Today we'll be coding Chase and Sky so they can pretend to be robots.
So what is programming? So programming is the entire process of creating a program to do a certain task. Does everyone kind of understand what that means? So this is the process right here. So the first step is to figure out what the problem is. The second one is to start working on a solution for the problem. After that is coding the solution, which is what we're going to talk about. So coding is just part of the whole programming process. Then what we do is test the code, we debug the code, and then you finish your program and you hand it off to whoever needs it. So just a few examples of programs before we go. So does anyone have any examples that they can think of programs? Google. eBay, yeah, exactly. Siri is a program. Google, yeah. Tristan? Amazon, yep. YouTube, Philippine. Facebook is also a type of program. Yeah, so FedEx could also be a program. Pinterest. So yeah, you guys are all naming different kinds of programs, which is good, but what you guys are naming is just one type of program. So all of those things that you're talking about is a program called a web browser. So like Google is a web browser, Amazon a web browser. So other things that we can program are you program games. So Minecraft, for example, is a game that has a bunch of programs in it. The entirety of a video game is just one giant long program that runs a code, and you guys get to play that code. Another one right here, so to launch a rocket into space, which is something that I kind of work on. It also requires a lot of coding. There's trajectory planning, which means planning where the rocket is going. There's stuff like how to measure the different pressures and all the densities and the stuff of the air, the gas rate, exactly, so the flow rate out of the rockets themselves. All that is a computer program. And there's also robots. Robots are just things that run code basically that people write. You can't have a robot without having a code attached to it. After that, smartphones, so smart devices. That doesn't include iPhones. That's iPhones. If you have an Android, that's all computers run programs, everything like that. Even iPads. iPads are just things that run a program. It's just even headphones have programs in them. Yep. So microwaves also have programs in it. It's true. Basically everything in your life has that has some electronics in it also has a program with it. So you think about a microwave. It has a clock. It has a timer. It has sensors to test the heat and how much a microwave radiation is coming out, so to heat up your food.
Is a refrigerator kind of like a program?
Yeah, a refrigerator also has a program. Even a calculator right there, you can see. The calculator is just a program that you enter in numbers and it spits out an answer. So you also have to program calculators. So what is code? So coding is just a subset, like I said, it's part of the whole programming process. So just like you and I communicate by talking to each other like this, code is how a programmer talks to a computer. So just like there's a bunch of different languages around the world, like Spanish and English and French and all that kind of stuff, there's a lot of different languages that computers can speak in. So these are just a few of the biggest programming languages that people use. So Python is one, Java, C#, C++, these are all, so Python, all these are they're called programming languages. So they all do sort of the same thing, but in a different way. Just like how in English you might say something and in Spanish you might say something else, but they mean the same thing. That's exactly what these different programming languages are. And then, like I said, each language is different, but all of them do pretty much the same thing. Some are just better for different types of programs than others. Yep. All right, so now the next thing, now that we kind of know what code is, what is coding? So coding is the act of writing a code. So you can think of it just like you're writing a story in language arts, but you're doing it on a computer instead. So writing a code is using a special language to tell the computer what you're trying to do. You can kind of almost think of it like a puzzle. The way that it works is that you know kind of what you want to do, and you have the pieces, but your job as a coder, and the job of coding, is to put those pieces into the right place so that your code is actually working. So the basic coding process is just, so you create a basic outline, you kind of just try to figure out what you kind of want to do. After that, you fill in all the specifics. So after you do all the all the very basic stuff. Then you can start doing the specific stuff, telling the computer specifically what to do. After that, you can run your code once and test for any problems. And so those are called bugs. So any problems that your code has that makes it not run properly, that's called a bug. And then to debug your code is to remove those bugs from the code so that you can have it run properly. And then just to kind of get your mind right, so codes can be anywhere from 10 lines long to thousands of lines long. So most video games are probably a few thousand lines of code long just to get you guys playing Minecraft right. So these are just some examples of coding. So this is what you were talking about, Ethan. So this is like all that text and stuff with a black background and green. And you can see right here that this is for an audio player. So basically, this is just taking music from maybe some website and then turning it in and putting it on your computer. And just for this single code, it's 522 lines long. So each line is a part of your code. So one line is equals one part of your code right here. So this one's 500 lines long. And over here on the right, that you can see that one's only 14 lines long. So there's a huge difference in what you want to do compared to how big your code is. So if you want to do a really huge thing like make a game, your code's going to be really long, but right there, all it's doing is calculating it's called a mean and standard, which you guys don't even know what that means, but it only takes a couple of lines to do it. And so these are just some programming and code I've done personally. So,
okay. Sometimes you use these to like mix the things in the game on your computer, and you have to like make it go into this machine and it goes and puts it into the game.
Yep, exactly. See? So just some examples of what each of these codes does, and so these two plots are for tracking the trajectory of a satellite that's going around the Earth. So like, again, that probably doesn't mean a lot to you, but basically using this plot and this plot, you can know exactly where the satellite is with respect to either another satellite or with respect to Earth itself, and that's why you see this big elliptical oval. Yeah, you see this big oval.
That's on my GPS.
That's it. So yeah, so satellite is a GPS, or GPS is a satellite system. And then on the right there, this is something that I do for my actual work. So it's called that right there. Again, you don't need to know the specifics, but it's called a phase plot. And basically, you can think of it as any point along these lines you can basically think of it like, let's see, it's more like you have an object like a bobblehead, and you hit it, and these lines track the way that bobblehead is going to move as it's going back to this.
Like you have a marble and you like which way it's going.
Yeah. So you can
it's like scanning a marble to see which way it's going.
Yeah, you can think of it like that too. So you can think of it like there's only a couple points where that marble is going to stay still in a bowl or something like that, and all the rest of these lines that are going off into nowhere, that means that the marble is kind of rolling out of that bowl.
Once we learned about coding, we used the skills to play a game with Chase and Sky, as they were the robots of this game. And when it was our turn, we controlled them to pick up a basketball at the playground. Then we had to make them bring the ball to us.
Move forward, move forward, move forward, move forward.
I can't move forward anymore.
Step. Turn right. Use stairs. Move forward. Step. 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 Grab. Then down. Grab. Turn around. Use stairs.
There's no stairs in front of me.
Step. Step. Then step. Move forward.
I can't move forward.
Step. Move forward. Step. 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 Turn left. Step. Move forward. Up.
Can't move forward from here.
Step. Move forward. Move forward. Move forward. Forward. Yeah.
Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave us a comment about what you liked about the video. Thanks for watching. Bye.